Do you have any memories from the library?
Oh gosh. My mom used to take me to the library all the time as a kid. We would go and hang out and spend time there and check out books, and so I think it inspired a love of books and reading in myself.
My sister sent me a book called The Relatives Are Coming to Visit, and it was before I had my daughter, and it was a children's book, and they were just saying that they were coming to visit. And then I found that book after I had my daughter, and I'm like, I remember that exact time because of that book. I remember that visit, and then I gave it to my daughter, and she will look at it years later and remember when I gave it to her.
Well, I was actually president of the Friends of the Library back in about 1982, and I volunteered. I lived here in town and enjoyed the library, and so I joined the Friends. I don't think that the politicians necessarily appreciate as much that goes on here as does. I'm still a member. I'm a lifetime member, actually. And while I was president, the picture that is the drawing that is used on all of the envelopes and the letterhead, I commissioned the fellow who did the drawing. I love the bookstore. I think it's doing great.
The librarians were Mrs. Moyer and Mrs. Risden.
What was Grace Moyer like?
Oh, Grace was so dear, so lovely, so welcoming and opening. Both Grace and Lily Risden were just, there they were behind the desk, calm, quiet, lovely, encouraging, sweet.
Tara too.
And Tara too! Yes! Tara, what is it about librarians? We love librarians.
Well chosen, I guess.
Yeah. We've been blessed.
My memory is I'm always looking for love stories, and I don't always find them, so I have to ask the librarian to help me.
So what do you like about libraries?
What do I like about the library? I like it because everybody, including your wife, have been so friendly and helpful. I appreciate help because I'm not that familiar with the different authors. I really am not. And sometimes when I get an author I like, I'll read everything, that they wrote, and then someone will say, well, who was the author? And I'll say, gee, I don't know, but she's up there on that third.
I like the books and the events that they have.
Reading is fun. I like reading. And I like books about birds and nature and stuff like that.
Well, I love the library because it's so easy to just come and get a book. And since I live here in town, I can just ride my bike down here and get a book whenever I feel like it. And that's pretty great. And I love the bookstore too because I just bought a book about how to make cupcakes, and that's pretty great. So I guess that's what I like about the library. Well, my favorite book series here is definitely The Land of Elan, and that was amazing. And I've read all the books so far.
And I would come to the library as a kid. I loved the library. I'd get lost in the stacks, and I still do. I love libraries. And I was just telling these two beautiful women that when I go traveling, the first thing I do when I'm in a town is I find the library and huddle up. And I love, this is a jewel in this town. It is an absolute jewel, and I'm so happy to live in Carpinteria because we have this library and we have the Friends of the Library. So
what was great?
Good.
Yeah, what was great?
Oh, I just enjoy history books about real life people. And of course I wish I had more time to go through children's books because we have so many lovely children's books. And all the magazines they have. It's a very, very interesting and wonderful library. Thank you.
What I love about books is it opens other worlds, and it's an opportunity to put down the story that you're living and pick up another story.
I love Storytime on Thursdays. It's her favorite day of the week to go to Storytime with all her friends.
I brought my granddaughter here for the story hour, and this is a great little library. They have a lot of things, very helpful people, so I like the library. So there's usually one person that tells the story, reads from a book, and just really puts a lot of emphasis on books books for little kids. They all sit around and they really love it, so it encourages reading.
And it's a nice thing for a grandparent to do with their grandchild?
It is, yes. Lots of grandparents there with their grandkids.
That's cool.
Summer reading program, pretty good. It's pretty fun.
I like turning the pages of a book. I like the touch, the feel of a book. And I love children's books. I'm a fairy godmother, so these are a very important tool in my trade. I always have plenty of children's books at my house because you never know who's going to come over.
I do buy books, of course.
Well, the other day I bought one on Amazon, and you said, why don't you just go to the Friends and get it? And I said, oh, the Friends aren't going to have it. And then I bought it on Amazon, and later that afternoon I happened by the Friends bookstore, and there it was.
Oh my God, there's so much to love about the library or the bookstore?
Both.
Well, I love the bookstore, and I go to the farm cart every week, and so I kind of like a little jog over here. Yeah, it's very tempting, and I come and look for books, and I usually end up picking up a couple of books. And then every time my mom comes to visit from Los Angeles, this is number one on her list. She reads like a book a day. She eats books. So I've gotten her gift certificates from here.
How much are the books?
They range in price. The books I pick up are usually around $2, but then there's a real special section over there where they're, $15 or $20. So I tend to look over there, but don't always go for the big bucks.
Those must be really special books.
Yeah, I'd like to know if they research them or how they figure out the prices on those, because I always think maybe there's a little buried treasure in there.
I like the books. I like them a lot. Oh my gosh, you can get did you know you can get kids books for like 50 cents an inch?
Where?
Here, at the Friends of the library. So you can get like 10 books for $1. Well, because kids' books are thin, so.
Nice. I mean, what do you like about the Friends of the Library?
Everything. I like the staff. I love the books. The prices you can't beat. Anything you want, if they don't have it, they'll call you if it comes in. You can't beat that. But when books are costing $27 to $32 a piece, and I can get whatever I want for $2, can't beat it.
Tell me, what do you like about the library?
I like that the library inspires my children to read.
I write books. And in fact, I look around and trying to find my books in the library. But yeah, it's funny. Now when I go to a library, the first thing I do is go to the ease and see if they have my books.
That's good. And I think I have seen your books here.
Yeah.
And what's the value to the average person of books?
Oh my goodness. Well, Emily Dickinson says, there is no frigate like a book to take us lands away. And it's a great source of, well, first of all, it's a great source of imagination, but also information. And it's an easy way to travel. Inexpensive.
But do you still get to feel the emotions and all?
Well, yeah, because it's funny. It's synthetic emotion. It's not the real thing, but it's so accessible, and there's so much of it that you can really, if you read Gone with the Wind, you can really get a feeling about people and about the time and all kinds of things. And there would be no way to travel to do that.
I like the education standpoint of library and the openness and ability to walk in and capture ideas and the creative aspect of libraries.
Escape. I like reading because I can escape.
And the people that come here from out of town, out of county, are all here buying books galore.
Yeah, all the visitors to town.
They love it. And it's so much fun to work here.
And you can add anything to that. What do you like about the library?
Oh, I like the fact that I see all my friends in there when I go to the library.
Me too.
Any memories of things of 22 years of running the Carpinteria branch library? Some of it's a blur, but mostly it's knowing Carpinteria, knowing the people of Carpinteria, and it's almost impossible to put it into one or two stories.
I like that the library is like a very nice and quiet place, and I can always like find the books that I want, or like I can always request them as well.
We're one of the original members of the Friends. We started the Friends.
And what's your name?
Elizabeth Risden. It's the best little free thing in town, isn't it? I mean, I love every single thing about it, and this is fantastic.
Friends of the Library. It's a dynamic board. We are so lucky to have this kind of support. The library would certainly not exist and would not have its prominence in the community if it weren't for the support of all of the friends and the board members over the years who have taken on the cause, championed the library, the value of reading, the value of having this kind of community resource here in Carpinteria. And they love it, and the library loves the Friends, so come and buy some books.